wow, this is so wild, Magnolia. And I talk about the void, dude. Like, this dead on looks like hoarding behavior to me. Hello, Aquarius. I was just shuffling and this, I'm not even gonna take it because I was just waiting for the camera to turn on. But anyway, hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your November soul session. This is like the second time that's happened. I'm Princess India, if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. And what's not, or whatever. If you are not familiar with what soul sessions are, they are my spirituality and personal development readings. So we look at an overall energy and experiences and things of the sort that you guys may be going through this month to help give you some clarity, some guidance, and a little bit of advice and things, you know what I'm saying? So anywho, let's go ahead and jump into your cards for real this time and see what is going on for my wonderful Aquarius people for the month of November. So we have a central energy, a challenge, past influence, future possibilities, above energy, okay, and a below energy. And at the bottom of your deck, fascinating, we have the Fool in the reverse. I really want to look at this. And it's Pluto energy with the Fool. I don't really know. I think Pluto's doing something. I can't remember. But let me see. All right. So here's the deal. What's undergirding you guys for the month of November, Aquarius, with this wonderful Fool card? What is happening? Oh, man. Why do people always call me when I'm trying to work? Goodness. So rude. Anyway. Like they know. But anyway, what I'm really feeling with this Fool in the reverse for you guys, Aquarius, and the energy that's undergirding you all for the month of November is more or less, I'm just going to see where this goes. I'm just going to say what it is that's trying to come out of my mouth. What I want to say is that I feel that there's something that may come up for you all in the month of November where it's having to make a decision on something, but there's a part of taking a chance, if you will. There's a part of you guys potentially taking, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm hearing Discord in the background and I have to X that out because that's gonna, I don't know why your reading is like this, Aquarius. Please don't be mad at me. I am so sorry. But I feel that there's a decision that can be made or a decision that may need to be made for you all, or there's a potential for you guys to take a chance or a risk on something. But I stress the word risk because it's almost as if, feeling as if you guys have some sort of void or something that's missing or that you're lacking in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And when this opportunity, and I don't want to say opportunity necessarily saying that it's positive, but it's like when this opportunity, crossroads, decision, whatever it is, comes up this month, I feel like you guys really need to be sober-minded and grounded before you just jump on it, because I feel that it would be impulsive. It would be impulsive and it would be hasty, because the true motivation that I don't think you guys are 100% aware of behind you guys taking this very non-calculated risk is because you're trying to fill a void in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And when we talk about filling a void, it could be a myriad of different things. We could think as lofty-minded as, you know, the hole that all of us have in our soul, you know what I mean, where we're looking for, you know, spiritual purpose and meaning in life, you know, existential crisis type things. It could be, you know, the loss of a job, the loss of a relationship. It's just something that was there that no longer isn't, and kind of being stuck in this place for some time where you want things to change and you want a new beginning, but you don't really want to jump on the first thing that's presented to you because it may not necessarily be what's best for you, and it could be a risk. So just be cognizant of that. So the central energy that we have is the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. And this is challenged by the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. In our past influence, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm seeing what's going on here. So here's the deal, Aquarius. It's looking like coming out of October and coming into November, you guys were in a holding space, I want to say. So it's more or less putting a lot of time, energy, effort into something, waiting to get the return on your investment, waiting for, the fruits of your labor to manifest. But coming into November with the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse here, there's a lack thereof of reciprocity in this situation, right? And looking at this being challenged by the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, and I'm getting a specific message with that. For some of you guys, this may be, I don't want to say it. Well, I mean, I feel it's a job you've been working at for a long time, or a career path that you've been putting a lot into. I don't want to necessarily say just a job. It feels more to me that, you may have a job at a place, but it's like what you do isn't centralized just to that job. You know what I mean? But you've been putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into this. And I feel it's not beneficial. It's like, I feel, and this is just a side message, not the total message, but this is just something really specific I'm seeing for somebody out there in TV land, well, YouTube land, but anyway. But I feel you guys have been working at this job or in this career path, and it's not fruitful. And it may not necessarily even be a financial issue where you're making pretty decent money and, it's a consistent job or what have you, but it's not really doing anything for you. It's like you still feel unfulfilled, right? So if this is specifically your situation, going back to what I was saying with that Fool in the reverse, and kind of jumping on a chance type of deal, the challenge I feel for some of you guys is there may be like a job that's offered, right? Like, say if you are in, and I'm still in the same scenario, say if you're working somewhere and you've been trying to get a promotion, right, at this particular job. And no matter how hard you try, you're not moving up in the company. And then suddenly you get a random, message on LinkedIn, or, somebody from Indeed, God forbid, sends you a message. Just a side note, just be so leery of those. Whenever you have an employer that just is like, hey, we saw your profile and you can start tomorrow, there's usually a high turnover at that company, just throwing that out there. But it's almost like someone trying to sell you a dream. And I feel it's like it's the perfect storm, if you will. It's Aquarius putting in a lot of work and wearying because they're not getting the return for all the effort. And suddenly here comes this person that seemingly like they see your effort, they see all of the time and energy that you're putting in, right? And I feel the catch-22 with this would be that you would end up taking like a massive pay cut. Like, it would almost be where everything that you're trying to get, and this is hypothetical, but it's like everything you would be trying to get with this promotion type of deal or moving up in the company, another company would offer you that opportunity, and it would seem like, the perfect thing. Like, whatever it is that's lacking where you are now, this thing seemingly has, but it's almost like you would lose a lot more in the process. So whether that's like taking a pay cut or, just kind of stifling your progress a little bit. So kind of stepping out of that scenario and getting back to this generally, what it's really looking like, Aquarius, is like I said, you guys have worked really hard towards something. You're feeling unfulfilled in November about it. You feel like you're not getting back what it is that you put in. But I feel when we talk about your challenge in this different regard, for some of you, it literally may be, if this is a job, taking a pay cut to do what it is that you really want to do so that it is reciprocal. And for others of you, I feel it's some level of sacrifice. It's something I feel, how can I say this? Because this is interesting. Because it really feels to me what's motivating my Aquarius people is it's trying to fill a void. It's some, and when I say void, it's like, it's almost if we're thinking that the path or the trajectory that someone took in their life, it wasn't necessarily heartfelt per se. And not saying that you don't like it or you're not passionate about it. It's just, I feel, and that's like the theme I'm seeing a lot this month. It's a lot of facing fears and being, and I said that in the weekly reading for my couture people, being cognizant of your intentions. It's like what you intend to do with something is like the seed, and what you deal with in 3D life, like when they talk about the whole mirror effect and like everyday life and how your external world reflects your internal world. A very simplistic way to look at that is looking at your intentions as seeds that you're planting, right? So whatever you intended to do, so if the intention hypothetically was to fill a void, like what I'm seeing, like, if you don't feel confident about yourself and you go on this particular path to try to gain confidence in an external sense, the reason why you would feel unfulfilled and void in your job or whatever path that you're on is because the intention seed that was planted was one of void. So you grew a tree of void. I hope that that's making sense. You guys, underlying energy is the Three of Swords in the reverse. Your above energy is the Four of Pentacles. Fascinating. And then going forward into December, we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. Okay, here is the deal, my Aquarius friend. Okay, all right. With your underlying energy being the Three of Swords in the reverse, it is a lot of unfulfillment, but then taking this to what's in you guys' mental energy with the Four of Pentacles, and this being a level of being held back. It's like I look at it as energetic hoarding. You know what I mean? It's holding on to what it is that you have and being too fearful to, move towards what it is that you really want. Now, what I feel this is speaking about, a lot of this feels very intangible to me, Aquarius. I feel a lot of this has to do with mindsets and intentions and almost like facing the truth of why it is that you're doing what you're doing, if that's making sense. And I feel that's the only thing that's really holding you guys back, because it's like, I would have to pull cards on y'all past, in all honesty, because everything I'm feeling that's bringing us to where we are now, and then even just thinking about y'all readings for the last couple of months, like if we went all the way back to September, dude, it's like there's always been this sense of sacrificing for other people and putting other people before yourself and putting your dreams and wishes and goals on the back burner. It's like a lot of that energy was coming up in you guys reading. And it's like, it's almost kind of how I said with, I think that was Scorpio, like the buck stops here. It's almost the entire collective, dude, is being pushed. And I know it has a lot to do with this portal, because I'm looking at the Four of Pentacles and they got the blue moon up in there. But it's like with this portal, it's like everyone crosses this threshold, but as soon as you get to the other side, it's like, bam, now you got to make the choice type of deal. Like that's the energy that I'm literally seeing for everyone. But if I were to just kind of encapsulate this and simplify it and just pull on this Fool in the reverse, I feel that's what the whole overall message is here for my Aquarius people, is rechecking your motives, if you will. And I know that sounds kind of, like, what do you mean my motives, But I mean, when we're talking about diving deep and doing personal work and shadow work, y'all know that I'm very, very practical. It's not about like, all kinds of like woo-woo, turn around 3 times, say a meditation, do a guided visualization with your inner child on some stuff. Not saying that none of those things work, but in a more practical sense, it's rechecking your motives. It's like, why are you really doing what it is that you're doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's like when something is is like, if you're working really hard towards something and it's not working, it's time to reevaluate either your methods or, you know, your practice. Is there another way to do it? I think like the easy way out and how we cop ourselves out in life is if we get into this mindset of blaming extenuating circumstances. And it's not to say that extenuating circumstances don't affect what it is that we go through, because they do on some level or another. But, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when people talk about like hexes and curses and things of the sort, right? It's like, I can't be successful on any job and I can't make no money because somebody cursed and hexed me. I feel like that's an easy way out. It's not saying that people don't curse and hex people, but I mean, it's just, it's kind of like a cop out, you know, but that's just my opinion. But it's like, I feel like it's a cop out because it's an easy period at the end of the sentence. Like, oh, this is the explanation, so I'm just gonna settle and accept this because there's absolutely nothing that I can do about it. And I don't think it's fair to ourselves to just kind of take something sitting down like that, you know? But I'm saying all of this to say, when we're talking about checking your motives, it's going back to being very honest with yourself of why it is that you're doing this in the first place, and don't cheat yourself by giving or allowing yourself to say a very simplistic answer of like, you worked really, really hard for this because that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And every time that's questioned, it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, I got to make money. I got to do this. I got to do that. I hope that that's making sense, Aquarius. But all in all, what I'm saying is there's a level of one holding themselves back. I feel it's more in a mental sense. It's more of a perspective sense of your current situation. But the thing that I need to stress is it's a lot of what has led you up to here. And I don't want to spend buku time like pulling cards on the past and everything. I started to. But when I'm thinking about all of these readings, I think what would behoove my Aquarius people, if you guys go back and look at, and I mean, if you really want to do a deep dive, okay, if you go back to every single Aquarius reading since January of 2020. So if you looked at January and not I mean, you could look at the loved ones if you want, but look at all the soul sessions from January and February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October, you know, and then come back and revisit this one, you know. And those of you who are members, it's like, look at the extendeds too, you know. Because, and if you don't want to go back that far, I would just say literally September. If you look at September, October, and then come back and revisit this, I feel you guys will start to see a pattern, because I feel that this is one specific thing that my Aquarius people are dealing with, you know, and it's like, it's still working towards something that is not, like, it's feeding something that is not feeding into you, and you're losing more in the process. But at the same time, it's not being willing to release this thing, you know, which is very similar to how Capricorn's reading was, you know. So it's almost like underneath it all, it's losing motivation and it's not being able, with the Three of Wands in the reverse going forward, is not being able to see things getting better, or not being able to see things letting up. But the whole reason that is because of one's perception. Oh, my iPhone just dropped, y'all, and it don't have the case on. Help me, Jesus. What is happening in America? I don't know why there's so many distractions during your reading, Aquarius. This is insane. I feel like everything is just going bananas. But it's all about a way that one is perceiving and thinking about things. And then there's a level of emotional repression as well. So still going back to this void, I feel if you guys were to really face what it is that you don't want face, you know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like, I feel like it's kind of like trying to, how would I explain that? It's almost similar to how I say with the Seven of Swords, like what you skip will trip you up later. But it's different, where it's almost like trying to move forward in life without facing the true issue. And if I were to make it more specific, because I'm trying to stay general so I don't, you know, I don't want you guys to cling too much on to one thing. But it's almost like if a person had low self-esteem, right? And ever since you were a kid, you never felt good about yourself. And it's like the whole reason why you became like an actor or something was because you wanted to prove to other people that you were good enough, right? It's not that you're not good at acting. It's not that you don't enjoy acting. But the only reason why you went that route as opposed to law school, hypothetically, was because you wanted to prove to other people that made you feel worthless that you were worthy, right? But it's like, fast forward to present day. It's like you made a whole bunch of movies. You got, I don't know, Oscars and things. You got a SAG card or whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you still feel deeply unfulfilled. And no matter what you achieve or what you accomplish, it's just never enough, right? And that's gotten you into this downtrodden kind of space to where it's very hard to see things being different in the future because they've been the same for so many years. But that's me talking about the 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles reverse, the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 3 of Wands in the reverse, straight down the middle. But the thing that I feel that my Aquarius people aren't seeing is what I'm seeing in this 4 of Pentacles and this 3 of Swords in the reverse, which is your mental and your emotional space, right? And it's the fact that it's never acknowledging the reason why one started this path in the first place, like the whole reason why this hypothetical Aquarius person became an actor or an actress was because you felt not good enough. And the truth is you were looking for your good enough in your worth and you becoming an actress and proving a point to these other people. That's the truth. That's that seed of void that I'm talking about. The unfulfillment in life and the bleakness of one's perception of the future are the tree and the fruit of that seed. And in order to solve this problem, it's a need to go back to the fact that, or accept and acknowledge that one started this whole tree growth process by sowing a seed of void, right? Why it feels like one can't have a new beginning or a fresh start on something is because this started out with a void. And when I say checking your motives, that's simply what it is that I mean by that. It's not saying that you had malicious intent or you were trying to harm people or anything like that. It's not suggesting that. And this is something that I think all of us are guilty of at some sense or another, you know? But it's like the true deliverance and true transformation that happens with individuals is realizing things like this, you know? It's like when you see, wow, this is the whole reason why I'm doing it. It's not saying that you even have to abandon the path. It's not saying that you got to give up acting, proverbially speaking. You know what I mean? It's just saying you need to acknowledge that the way that you started this out was in the less than stellar ideal mindset. And that's why things are the way that they are. So it's more or less the theme I've seen for Aquarius is living for other people. So I'm seeing this slightly different than I have in all of the readings before, because it's always manifested as like friends, family members asking for money and, you know, can you do this? Can you do that? And you guys always like saying that you'll do it and sacrificing your own happiness. But I'm seeing a whole different perspective of it now, where it's not just about literally running errands for people and stuff. It's the fact that all of this started where with one's intentions, literally. It's like the way that one is approaching things is from a place of trying to get fulfillment from other people and stuff and things or whatever externally to you. And I really feel what Spirit's trying to do is bring you back to you. So it's not that you have to give up what you're doing. It's changing your approach. It's changing your intention. It's you being a proverbial actor because you want to do it. And it gives your life meaning and it gives you worth and value. And it doesn't matter what other people think or feel about it. Because if you're happy at the end of the day, that's the only thing that really matters. And I feel all of these cards here, right, in the center that are in the reverse, with all of these upright, this would literally be amazing. It's like 7 of Pentacles, you're putting in hard work and effort. If the 6 of Pentacles is upright, then what you're putting into it, you're getting back. You know what I'm saying? It's putting you in a position of power. Then that changes the 10 of Pentacles upright. So that's like inheritance and like, you know, financial abundance and all these good things, like building a nice little nest egg, you know what I'm saying? And then with the 3 of Wands, it's waiting for your ships to come in. But I'm seeing it more as a cycle, because that's the way that life is supposed to work, right? When you put in something, and I said this, I think, with Capricorn too, when you put a seed in the ground and you water it, a tree is supposed to grow. And it did. It's just not the tree that you want. You know what I'm saying? So we got to go back and get the right seed so we can get the right tree. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what I feel like the whole lesson is in this. It's like, it's not just about what you're doing externally. And I think this could be a lesson for so many people, dude, because I know this is a lesson that I learned myself many, many years ago. It's like, intention is more powerful than I think people realize, but it's something that we always overlook. It's like, even if you think about it in the sense of karma, the law of the harvest, reaping and sowing, a lot of times when we get quote unquote karma for stuff, which is really just cause and effect we're talking about, it's not understanding where, well, you know, I was doing all of this. Well, why is this coming back? You know what I'm saying? The thought is like, well, what did you intend? It's like, why did you really talk to that person? Why did you, you know, really work all those overtime hours, or, you know, whatever it is that we're talking about here specifically in your life. But I feel that's what the big grand lesson would be here for my Aquarius people. It's all not just about you doing the work. It's about what's your intention. Like, what's the spirit behind what you're doing? Are you doing it out of desperation? Are you doing it out of approval seeking? You know, are you doing it because you're trying to find, you know, worth and value in something or someone? And if it's coming out of that place that's ill-intended just for you, it's like, it's following the same process. Like, you put a seed in the ground and a tree is going to come out, you know? But it's like, do you want it to be a tree of life, or do you want it to be a tree of proverbial death? You know what I'm saying? I hope that that makes sense, Aquarius. Whew. Literally, physically, this reading just has so much stuff going on. In your cards, I feel it's a lot of stuff going on, like in you guys' mental space. You guys could be scrambled and stuff like that. But I just hope and pray that everything that I said makes sense. Let me know in the comments. But that's been your reading, my friend. I'm going over to Vimeo, my website, YouTube members, and Patreon to do you guys extended, where we're going to make this a little bit more specific and dive a little deeper, my friend. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. But if not, I still love your face. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see you guys sooner than later. Sooner if you go to the extended, and if you're a member, you're just gonna, you know, click and I'll be here again. Love your face. But it's like, in a very energetic sense, it's like a behavioral pattern very similar to hoarding. It's like it's some grand loss that occurred in the past, and it's still being stuck there and not being able to get past this thing that didn't work. It's trying to fill this void of what was lost in the past with whatever it is that you guys are doing now, achieving, overworking, whatever the case may be. And I think the thing specifically, and I haven't even turned over the rest of the cards, but I think the thing specifically that my Aquarius people are dealing with is literally like shame and guilt or self-blame or something. So I get it. I understand how difficult that this can be. But I can also tell you that there's no other way around it. You cannot pray it away. You can't run away from it. You can't deny it away. Money not gonna fix it. Notoriety not gonna fix it. A marriage partner ain't gonna fix it. Friends, all of that. Losing weight, gaining weight, none of that is going to fix it. I promise you. I've tried. It doesn't. It does not work. You will still feel this same way inside. Whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, rich or poor, married or not, you'll still feel that same way. So do yourself a favor, dude, and cope with it, deal with it. Don't do it by yourself. Go find you a nice, friendly local neighborhood therapist. You know what I'm saying? And get to work.